Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope it's going to be behaving this week. It was quite erratic and strange, wasn't it, last week? This is such a treat. I'm so delighted to be bringing this along. This all comes, I have to say, from Peter Buchanan Simmons, who is a fantastic up and coming origamist. I'm going to show you the beautiful book he's been making. So, Peter is actually based, hello Stephen, is based in Oxford, which is where I'm based, and it's been really lovely to meet him. And I hear from him that he's been a member of the British Origami Society since he was 8. So he really has been doing this for many years, and he's very talented. So this lovely book, very beautiful to look at, contains designs that he's made, his own new designs, as well as some traditional designs, but also some traditional designs with a twist. So he's very kindly let me demonstrate a few of them. Hello. But I'm keen just to show you a few, but not all of them. So if you really wanted to do the whole collection, then to get his book. If you look on the videos that I've made, there's a link as well to read more about where you could get that. So I think it's just £8. Bit of a bargain. And he's going to be doing like a whole series around the seasons, which is such a great idea. I showed you some of his festive folds, which I really enjoyed. And again, I've just found myself inspired in all sorts of ways by this. So in the book, it included something which I got very excited about, because for me, I started origami from learning the traditional lilies. And this is how I learned from someone who was a patient. And she'd learnt in a hospital, and she had been unwell as a child, and she kept doing this as an adult when she was unwell as well. Hello, Penny. Hello. I would make flowers, Adrian, Lady Frag, would make bunches of flowers to give to others. The lilies I love. I was shown actually how to make the stems by her. So slightly less purist on the origami side, but I think is a really nice touch. So actually using glue and scissors. Hello, fold. Have you here? Thank you very much. So yeah, this is where I learned, and I just love making these. But Peter has included, I thought, a very neat diagram as to how to make an iris. So it's basically the lily, but it's still based on a square, but there's some folding, so it's cleverly made into a triangle which you fold from, and there's no cutting. So you could just have a flower, no cutting, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Oh wow, fantastic. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, Laura. He'll be thrilled. It's such a hard thing starting off in something like this. So he's only recently gone self-employed. So so Peter Buchanan Simmons. There we go. And if you have a look under the video, hopefully I've included it there. The next few folds are all from him. There'll be a couple of animals which he's designed, as well as a couple of traditional folds which are in here. So yeah, if you look up his name, you should be able to find his website, or on Etsy. I think he sells this book. It's just £8, but it seems a bit of a bargain. And it's also going to be a kind of changing themes, which I thought was really nice of the season. So it's just nice to support someone. I'm very grateful for Peter's support. Some really clever designs. There's even an inflatable egg in there as well, which is just such a fantastic idea. I'll show you maybe the back of that, but we'll be see all sorts of lovely things in there. Yay. And I'm going to be using the diagram actually to show you how to do the iris. So it's basically is the traditional lily, but it's adapted to fold from a triangle, which we'll make. You don't cut anything, and but it's just got such a lovely feel. I've always felt that's a little bit the flaw with the traditional lily. Most flowers are not 4s; they're either 3s or 5s. So to do this from the triangle is great. It also does have a different feel to it as well. Oh, sorry, just catching up with everyone. Everyone's having a good old chat there. Oh dear. So is any of it sharp, or is it all a little bit? Maybe it's better at a distance then. The bunny is really good, and actually the sort of cute bunny, this one I'm going to be showing you in coming weeks as well. Oh, maybe it's when I get it too close it doesn't. Is that better? Are you able to see? I can't tell. Right, it's 5 minutes past, so this will probably take a little bit longer than usual because it's a more involved fold, isn't it, if you made the lily before? But I hope you'll enjoy this. I wonder whether any of you have made this before. Have you realised before that you can adapt the square into the triangle and fold a lily from there? Yes, that's right. Peter will be teaching. It's so lovely. We'll both be doing something. Great. Right, I'm going to look up the diagram here. Get myself organised. So the iris. There we go. I can actually now tell you which side of the paper. Oh, that's lovely. Excellent. Peter will be thrilled. It's that support, isn't it, that makes a difference. He's been coming up with so many new designs. It's very kind of him to share. I have to say things like animals I don't so naturally do, but it's been really good to do. And I particularly like the couple of animals that I'll be sharing. Thanks to Peter. Right. Yeah, we can treat. That sounds a very good plan. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be happy for any feedback if you've got any questions. It's always very hard doing diagrams. They're very appealing to look at. I managed to get there for most of them. I always find diagrams hard, so I'm quite a good person to test them out. Right. I have got my A4 paper and I'm simply going to make a square. Yeah, it's funny because I thought the ones that I'd like the most, I actually found different ones that I liked the most. So I tried them all and then thought which ones somehow sparked me the most. So I will be sharing just a few from his book. So there's 2 new ones, 2 animals that he's designed and 2 traditional folds like this, but somehow it's different, I'd suggest. Also, a few people have been asking me how to fold the stem and the leaf. The leaf is just a bit of folding, which I'll show you. The stem does involve glue and scissors, but I think it's well worth it. As I said, this is how I learned origami from someone who is doing that. So I will show you how to do that. So if you just want to watch, that's fine. If you can get hold of any glue and scissors, it might be useful. It's up to you. Exactly. I hadn't found the 3-petal one before either. I sort of thought about it, but then I'd never managed to figure out how to do it. So I particularly love that you don't actually cut up the paper either. You'll see. So I'm simply first of all going to make a square. So I am just lining it up, making my nice little right angle triangle there. There we go. I've not actually counted the number of petals on my lily, have you? I doubt that there's many flowers that are 4s, to be honest. I think it's either 3s or 5s or 6s. 4s, less likely, I would have thought. But they are very beautiful. But I've been very excited about the iris. They look so iris-like too. Right, I'm going to remove this rectangle. Hello, everyone. Hi, Wendy. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for coming along too, as ever. Loyal. Oh, lovely having this gathering, isn't it? So I think there's the next couple of, maybe I'll be folding next week. I will be taking a gap of a couple of weeks as well. From the library. Hello from the library. This is what we're going to be making. I know that we were making lilies, weren't we, in the library? Or I left a bunch at one point. Maybe you've probably still got some of them. But this time we're making an iris. So it's the has the symmetry of 3, but we do it from a square. It's quite exciting. So here we go. So if you have a square, if you have an origami piece of paper, then fold it in half and make a diagonal. But if it's origami paper, it's white on one side, this is the white side, and the back now would be the coloured side. So if you just do that diagonal line, that's our first thing. I'll just wait for you to do that. So simply folding in half there. It would be the coloured side on the outside. Oh, that's fantastic. Library joining in as well. And at the moment, the library looks incredible in Oxford. This is our town library, our city library, and it's full of beautiful butterflies, origami butterflies made by so many people. And it's all the Akira Yoshizawa butterfly as well. Right, so we're going to do next, we're going to be making a triangle. To make our equilateral triangle, we are going to fold a line there, so it's a halfway line there and one there. So I think of like the diagonal line, and I'm going to do one there, but I'm only going to do it partial. I'm not going to do it all the way across. So keeping it there, and I am going to do my line there. So I'm folding in half to make a rectangle. Sorry, can't see that, can you? And I'm doing a little crease there. And then I'm going to do that halfway line up here as well. So I'm going to take this end, fold it in half to make a rectangle, but I'm just pressing just the top little bit, not all the way. Can you see? That's what I'm going to do. Great. I will make sure, I don't want to leave anyone behind, so I'm going to go slowly on this. I think actually I'm going to put it that way up now, just to be awkward. So there's a line there and a line there, which is the halfway line, and I made that by making a rectangle and just creasing at the bottom there. Are you happy? Have you all got that there? So to make our equilateral triangle, we are going to take this corner and we're going to bring it so it touches that line from the top. So it would be taking this and lining up from the top. I definitely have to do this on a solid surface. I think you will too. So I'm taking this point and I'm going to bring it to that line from the top. Sounds so complicated in words, but I think you definitely need a solid surface for this. Can you see? So it's this corner and I brought it to that halfway line there from the top. Takes a lot of concentration. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to take this corner and again bring it to that halfway line from the top. Like so. There we go. How are you getting on, everyone? Are you managing that? So we had that diagonal line. We did our halfway lines there. Took the corner, brought it to touch there, and the same with the other side. You good, Laura. Excellent. Our next step is we're just really going to do a line from there to there. So I'm just lifting this up, keeping obviously that in the middle, lined up from those corners. Do it carefully. I'm going to have to do that on the solid surface again, I think. Like so. So it was down there and I brought bottom up. So it's touching each of these corners and you now have an equilateral triangle. And we're going to fold from that. So we're not going to even, I had previously been playing around with equilateral triangles. So I cut off the edges, but you don't have to at all. And it probably makes it a stronger, more bulky flower, which feels good. Right, are you all happy? Yep, Barbara, excellent. Oh gosh, is it back to 6 a.m. for you now, Barbara? Because our clocks have changed, haven't they? Has it gone a bad way for you? Back to being early again? I'm guessing maybe. Yes, oh, sorry, so you only had a couple of weeks or so of it being a more palatable time of 7. Very impressive that you're getting up at 6 to join us. Lovely. So next we're going to do a halfway line from this side to the middle of that side. So I'm just going to take this and fold it up like so. So it was just to show you it was like this, and I'm going to take this side and fold it up, which will give it a halfway line there. That's all. Great, and then undo it again. And we're going to do the other line as well. So we're going to do that halfway line. So I'm going to take this bottom corner and bring it up here. and then undo it again. That's it. Right. Are you happy? Have you all got that? Because we should now be able to push it all together. So I think to do that, I'm going to close it up again. And I almost imagine this area as the bud. So this bit that's sticking out needs to go up inside itself. I am going to push that up. Can you see? So it's like this. So it falls down like this. And I folded it in half, and then I'm going to take the bit that sticks out and push it up in on itself. And that should form your lovely sort of triangular bud. Has that worked for you? Or shall I show it? I'll show it one more time. Why not? So I'm going to take this, fold it in half, which is what you've already done. And then we just want to take the bit that sticks out, push it in on itself. And you should hopefully end up with this lovely shape. Now we're going to treat it as if it was the lily now. So each of these, you've got 3 pages. Actually, it's quicker and easier than the lily, and it really does look very much like an iris. So we've got these 3 little pages. I'm going to take one of these pages and I'm going to pop my finger in and squash it down in the middle like so. And it doesn't matter, you can see there's all sorts of interesting layers going on there. It doesn't matter at all. It still all works. Oh, just trying to get rid of wrinkles there. Make sure it's all nice and lined up like so. So it was, I'll just show you one more time. So you've got this 3-way piece of paper, taking a pocket, pop your finger in and squash it down to make that kite-like shape. And we're going to do that for each of the sides. So now I'm going to turn to the back. Here's another little page, and it's the same thing. I'm going to pop my finger in, squash it down in the middle like so. There we go. And at the end, I'll show you how I make a stem and leaf, which isn't so strictly origami, but it's a way of making it that works well. So I think it's worth it to make a nice bunch of flowers. Turning the page, and I do rather like that it's in Japan. People will use a little bit more cutting, a little bit more glue, just where it's necessary, that's all. I think it is for really to make a nice stem. Of course, the tulip's the lovely exception where you've got the whole stem and the leaf and the flower and there's no cutting. It is a beautiful thing, but it's not always possible. So I hope, have you all got something like this, which is the same now on each side? Sorry, you have like a smooth side and then you have this, but hopefully it's looking like that. Right, so we're treating it as if it's a lily. And what we're going to do in a moment, do shout if you need me to show anything again. Oh, I'm just trying to get things even. It's the beauty of paper. You can refold until you're happy. So on the side which has got the line through the middle there, not the smooth side, ignore smooth sides. This side, we're going to take the top diagonal and fold it to the middle line, like so. And again, be nice and exact. Take your time, line it up. I might need to see what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh, no, looks okay. Just doing entirely in the camera where I can. Top line to the middle. I guess it's like working in a mirror. And it is possible if you do it often enough, your brain somehow can adapt. There we go. Have you managed to do that? The next step, actually, I find easier on this triangle shape than for the lily. I think it's easier. So I like to opening the little flaps, opening a present. And we're going to take the middle and we're going to bring it down to make a point. So you have to sort of tuck in the top, roll, kind of rolling along the bottom there to make a little point. Might need to see what I'm doing. There's always that slight reshaping of the paper till it behaves. And then making that little point there and pushing it up. I'll be doing this twice more, so hopefully you'll get that. But it's easier actually with this. You've got a sort of longer petal and this is shorter. We do it again. Right, I'm going to turn to the back now. It's got the line in the middle, so that's correct. I'm going to take the diagonal line and fold it to the middle line, like so. There we go. Oh, great. Well done, Barbara. Well, if you can manage at 6 a.m, then puts us all to shame, doesn't it? That diagonal side to the middle. It's just a very impressive way to wake up. I'm sure you must feel certain buzz that you've got your brain going so early. There we go. So I took the outside and folded it to the middle. And again, once you've done that, it's the same thing. I like to think of opening a present. I open little flaps and I'm going to take the middle and bring it down, roll in the sides. You have to slightly reform the shape there to make a little point. As you know, I tend not to use any technical language because I figure that most people won't understand that. It's a bit like science. I try to minimize a number of scientific words if I can. They all have meaning, but for someone who hasn't got that, they may be less accessible. So, and actually, I tend to think for this in that person learning mode because I feel as if I'm learning all the time. Turn the pages, again, get to the side where it's got the horizontal line. I'm on my last side, so the good thing with this is it's one less side. Excellent. Well, it's a testament to you clearly do enjoy this to get up so early. So this diagonal side, again, folding to the middle, like so. And the same on the other side, this diagonal line to the middle. That's it. There we go. Opening this up and taking the middle and bringing it down, rolling in the sides, making a little point at the bottom. That's it. And then pushing up. Oh, petal fold, indeed. Which doesn't sound too technical at all, because actually it's exactly what we're doing, isn't it? It's a lovely thing, making a little petal. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate the supplementary details I do enjoy hearing. Thank you very much. Right, we're getting there. You can see it's looking like the lily, but it's got different proportions, hasn't it? I hope you're appreciating and enjoying these different shapes. Right. So our next step is if you, exactly, that's true, holding things. So we've got the sides that we've just been folding. If you turn the page until it's smooth, and I just want you to tighten the bottom of the flower. Yes, it's got a different feel, hasn't it, folding from the triangle. Bottom diagonal line to the middle, which is basically we're just doing what we would if we were making a lily, although it does look a little bit different. I think kind of longer and quite shapely. Bottom edge to the middle. We're doing this on the smooth sides. I might see what I'm doing. It gets challenging when it's a bit smaller. So this sort of tightens up the flower in a way. There we go. And if we turn to the back, again, flick through until you get to smooth side. Yeah, maybe you could make a little beak from all of this. Bottom edge to the middle. And we're just doing that on all the 3 sides. Then you have actually made your flower. It's very thick. And also that we've been using those extra folded over layers, but I think it adds to the heaviness of it, which I think feels rather nice. Turn through the pages. I've got one more smooth side here to do the same thing. And of course, all of this is recorded, and I've recorded a film as well. So if you do ever get stuck, don't worry, don't despair. You can definitely get on and master it. Bottom edge to the middle. It's just patience. The good thing is with the films, you can stop, pause, go back. Whereas it's obviously a bit harder for me to do that. Right, we're almost there. So I sometimes find, so we've got the 3 petal set. I sometimes find that because of those extra layers, that one thing might be tucked into another a bit. I never quite know how it's going to go, to be honest. Actually, mine looks okay. But if you find one's overlapping the other, just slightly disentangle it. I find that can happen, and I still don't quite understand which position I should have what in. Are your 3 petals looking distinct? As I said, if they're not, you will be able to separate them and then get the little spare bit back to the right petal. But I'm going to show you how I normally open up my lilies, which is to use a pencil. You can fold it down, it has a different effect. But this is how I first learned. I had to tuck one in. Yes, exactly. So it's those extra little pieces of paper. But once it's in the right place, it's fine. So I have been using this rolling method, which is how I was taught by a patient to do this. And I really like it because it's very kind of curvy, which is a little bit, in a way, a little bit opposite to what we normally think of as origami, but it's sculpture in a different way. So I'm going to take each petal and try to, gosh, it's very thick, trying to roll it down around my pencil, down to the point where it might go naturally. And then, oh, I think I have actually got a piece of paper tucked in from the other side. Oh, I don't know. I'll see what happens. I think, yeah. So as I said, I sometimes do find that one side is tucked in from another. So you may have to fiddle around until it feels right. That's all I can say. Because I don't quite understand how I am. So yeah, I was finding that one wasn't able to. This is the spare bits of paper. So if you're finding that one's attached to another, sort of unpick it and bring it back to the side. That would be good. And again, you can just roll down each of the petals. It's quite thick, but rather nice. Again, each of these, I'm taking my pencil. You could do it in a different way, but I think this is quite nice. Yeah, that's true, Eric. That's always the way to look at it. It's such a lovely, lovely one, this, and it feels so alive. It really is beautiful. And you could, if you had some nice blue, or I guess you can also have yellow as another iris colour. I always slightly wonder about painting in these little streaks, or I suppose if you have 2-sided paper, it might show that. So how's yours gone? Have you got something like this? It's very elegant, beautiful. It feels very different, doesn't it, to the lily? Very different, the 3-way. Yes, I love it too. So this is Peter. He said it's traditional. Oh, brilliant! But I have to say, he's really given it his own brilliance. Yeah, it's all down to Peter and his sharing. Excellent. I'm so glad you like it. Yours is purple. Shall I show you how I make a stem? Because it's gorgeous in itself and you don't need to, but it is quite nice to be able to make a stem for it as well. Very simple, and maybe a possible leaf. So I'm just going to show you briefly. Don't feel that you need to stick around if you don't want to. It's up to you. But I know some people were asking me to show that and I hadn't shown it already in the video. So I have just got some little these are little strips of paper from where I've cut out my 15 by 15 centimetres. So it's a strip. So in this case, it could be a strip of A4 or a strip of letter. Let's make, what are we going to make first? Let's make the stem first. So get yourself ready some glue. Print stick isn't great, sellotape not great. I think it needs a bit of PVA. At least you'll get the idea. I'm so glad you all feel excited about that. Yes, it's a tricky one. To be honest, the lily is not the easiest thing to do. And in some ways this is, it's quite challenging that we're using a triangle, but it's lovely effect, isn't it? So it's worth the effort. Right. To make a stem, excellent. We're going to, I'm simply, again, this is how I learned it from a patient with the lilies. I've got a strip of paper and I'm just going to get a pencil and I'm simply going to wrap it around the pencil, but at a bit of an angle, I'm going to roll around that. It's his own skill as well in itself. It's quite a tricky one, this. Bring it round. It's got an interesting sort of crunch to it. I've rolled it around and then taking out the pencil. And you'll find it's sort of slightly wider at one end and narrower at the other end. So basically I'm twisting it. This will be something to try out for later probably. I am twisting and twisting and twisting, really as far as it will go. And it has its own, you have to sort of understand it in its own way too, actually. But you end up, I suppose it looks a bit like a paper straw, actually. Quite sort of tough, all of those layers. So I put in the pencil at an angle, rolled it around, took out the pencil, and I twisted and twisted and twisted until it toughens up. You can hear the sound of it. Crunch. And then I'm afraid maybe there is a way to tuck it in, but I'm afraid the way I learned is with a little bit of PVA, and you just need the tiniest bit, just tiniest bit on the triangle that sticks out. So not much at all. Putting in a little bit of glue. I'd love to see all your flowers. Excellent. There we go. I'm just holding it there for a moment. Doesn't take that long, but this is a way to be able to make really nice big bunches of flowers, which people really appreciate. There we go. Holding that, that's great. I'm going to trim off the end so it's less obvious how I've made it. So trimming that off. Great. So I've got a nice little thin one because I think this is very dainty. And next, the bottom of my iris, I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut a very little end tip. So it may be that you come back to this if you felt like it. I'm assuming you're probably mostly watching rather than joining me on this. Trimming that end off. A tiny piece of paper comes off. And actually that's a bigger hole than it looks because it's a little concertina. And I'm putting my finger in there, pushing, and it gives a little bit of a hole. And then the narrower end of my stem, I can hopefully pop in there. You could definitely feel your tongue coming out for this. I think I need to maybe make that hole a bit bigger, actually. Oh, let's see. Oh, no, got it in there. You don't want it too big or it could be slopping around. So I am pushing that in, and it's rather nice because you get to see this. And then when I'm happy at the height of it, I'm going to lift this up a tiny bit, put a little circle of glue around, just a tiny little bit. PVA is definitely the best for this. I initially started with sellotape, it looks rubbish to have bits of tape there. I've pushed it on there, and next with my fingers I'm going to start squeezing it onto the paper so it's kind of symmetrical and feels nice. There we go. I've got an albino iris for this one. This is what it would look like if it was in the right colour, but I've shown you with white. Still, it's pretty unique. There we go. I'm just waiting until I'm happy there. Now the leaf I've just done as a separate thing, and it just looks nice in with a bunch of flowers to have a few leaves. So as I have done with this, I've just got a few leaves. I'm sure you've probably done things like this before. I just made it up really, but it's based on what people would do. Leaves is a very simple leaf. And I'm thinking the irises that they have very narrow, little slim, long, thin leaves. So I just thought something like that would work. So to do that, I've got another strip of paper. These are all just spares for me. Great. Oh, wow. Yellow. Excellent. Yes, yellow and purple. That'd be so nice. So to make a leaf, as I said, it would just go in with a vase of them rather than attached. Seem to remember this is what I did. I'm simply going to fold it in half to make a halfway line. And actually, again, someone who worked with as a patient in the hospital showed me how he made up a leaf. So I sort of took that on board as to how to do a leaf as well. So I've got a halfway line. And of course, for a leaf, you want one end to be a bit narrower. So I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to fold it to that middle line, a bit like a paper aeroplane. So I took the top corner and I folded it to that midway line. Same with the other corner, so that they meet like that. And I think I'm going to do the same thing, that bottom corner diagonal end to the middle, just narrowing it really. Same on the other side. What do you reckon? Maybe another one? Yeah, let's do another. Folding inward, very thick. Getting quite sculptural, that's quite nice. Just keep going until it feels right. So if you look on the other side, it's beginning to look quite nice. And I think I might now take the outer edge, because I'm thinking their leaves is quite long and slim, but it's not completely a pyramid-y shape. So I am now going to start, I think, the outside folding to the middle. Again, as I said, this is just made up. It's not right or wrong, this one. And then the bottom to the middle. It's just a general principle, really. Have any of you made an iris before? Is this new to you? It was new to me. I'm going to again take this outside to the middle. I might slightly kind of tilt it or something just to make it a bit more less perfect. Oh. Oh, that's lovely, Barbara. That's really lovely. Well, they're such special things, irises. How lovely to hear that. There we go. Glad it's new for you. Well, it's traditional with a twist, all thanks to Peter. Brought it in the middle. So this is what it looks like on the other side. And I tend to just curl it a little bit. Just playing around so it feels a little less perfect. It's got a bit of a curve maybe. And then there you go. Yay! Tis a beautiful memory. What were the different colours? The yellow, purple. Is there blue maybe? Maybe. I feel like I should make a bunch of them. Aren't they lovely? Love these irises. They're so elegant, aren't they? And they really do feel like the real thing somehow. I do wonder about painting a little tiny little bit of the yellow flags. Yes, that's right. They're called the yellow flags are the ones which are the most natural ones. Yeah. It is a favourite, isn't it? Yeah, me too. I think it's a very special variant. You're welcome, Tony. And yeah, as I said, this is a bit more of a challenging one, but it's a great one to do. And it's good to have things that you can get stuck into, give yourself a little challenge and master at some point. You're very welcome. Enjoy. Yes. Exactly, yeah. Peter reckons that others have been folding this, and he was just like, I've diagrammed it, which I think was a great idea. Yeah, lovely. Well, I will see you next week. I can't remember what we're doing this week, but I think it might be from Peter's book again. I'm just sharing a few. As I said, 2 traditional from his book and 2 new ones. And then there's more that he'll be sharing at the British Origami Society event, which is next weekend. And I will be taking part in that as well. Can't wait, with some traditional folds that I've got excited about too. So you're very welcome. I hope the flowers give you a real delight, as they have done me, passing on the pleasure. Take care, everyone. Have a good week, and I'll be back again next week at 2. Bye bye. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.